Yo, what's going on guys? It's Ryan again. Today we're restoring a pair of Motorsport Blue 4s. There's heavy creasing going on. The entire shoe can use a fresh repaint. There's marks and scuffs all over the place. And finally, they need a deep cleaning. If you've ever worked on a pair of Jordan 4s, you know these laces are much longer than they need to be. When they're finally out, to clean them, the three products you're going to need are OxiClean, laundry detergent, and an empty bottle. I'm putting some of this detergent into about half a bottle of water, and we're going to keep on shaking it and replacing the water until it's clear. We haven't even started yet, and you can already see how dirty it is. When the water looks pretty clear enough, now we're going to switch and soak them into a mixture of White Revive and water. These are going to go in the sun for around 2 to 3 hours. The UV rays from the sun are going to help brighten it even more. And when you dry them, they should look much whiter than before. After taking out the insoles and giving them a few knocks on the table, surprisingly I didn't see much dirt. But with these kind of shoes that I'm going for, you gotta check everywhere. And there it was, the corners were filthy. Using a scissor is a great way to loosen out all that dirt in the corner. And this is what we ended up with. There's lots of white fabrics on this shoe that we need to pre-treat, and I'm using White Revive. Mix a small amount into a spray bottle and you're good to go. We're going to use the washing machine method for these, but it's really important that we break down these stains first. We're going to continue our cleaning all around the shoe, and for the soles, I'm using a brass brush. The last step for the shoe itself is to put in our shoe trees. And while they're drying after being washed, it's going to conform to that shape. After scrubbing down the insoles, we can get them ready for the washing machine. And this is how it's going to go in our sneaker laundry bags. On a cold cycle for 15 to 30 minutes, they go. These are going to go outside in the shade to dry. There's some pretty deep ankle creases on these shoes. They're not going to go away completely, but we could minimize them. We're using an iron and a wet shirt. You don't want to do this for too long, the heat could cause separation. Cleaning the midsoles are really easy. We're going to use a paint stripper called Dad's Easy Spray. I cut up a sponge into a couple of pieces, and this is what we're going to use to clean the midsoles. I'm going to apply a total of 3 applications, and we're going to wait around 3 to 5 minutes in between. This is going to give the product a chance to really do its job. The paint strippers are a lot weaker now, but in my opinion, it's still the best way to clean a midsole. Using the rough side of the sponge that we cut out, you should be able to wipe off majority of it. I'm going to apply one more coat, wait 3 to 5 minutes again, and then wipe it off. And try to avoid scrubbing the midsole. The older it is, the more gentle you want to be. To finish off the cleaning, I use rubbing alcohol and then acetone at the very end. I try to use the acetone very sparingly because it's a stronger chemical and it could damage your midsoles if you scrub too hard. While we're on the topic, we might as well clean the uppers. This is going to remove any top layer of dirt as well as the factory finish. The leather is pretty cracked up in some areas, so we can smoothen it down using sandpaper. There are a few areas that needed to be reglued, so it's best to do it now before we repaint. So using a toothpick and barge super stick, I was able to get into the crevice with ease. When you're confident you have enough glue in, you can peel off the tape immediately. We're gonna let the glue cure for a couple of hours, and then we're gonna come back with a heat gun. We're gonna heat it up to around 130 to 140 degrees, and then we press it down. You'll know you did it right if it tacks on instantly. I recommend using clamps for the perfect bond, but tape still does a pretty good job. Check it out. We're finally ready to start the painting. Apply your paint on layer by layer, and definitely use a heat gun in between coats. The same concept goes for the uppers. After a couple of coats, you should sand down the midsole. This is going to get rid of any imperfections that might arise. After the white is fully laid down, you gotta let the paint rest for a couple of hours, because if you tape up immediately, there's a good chance you're gonna rip off the paint. One trick that I see painters do all the time is paint over the seal with your base color. It's gonna lead to a more sharper line. And when you're painting on your secondary color, you don't want to oversaturate the seal. And we're also doing the sanding as well. And now all that's left to do is finish up the repaint. After any cleanups and touch-ups, we need to protect our work with Krylon Matte Finisher. This is also going to cover all the scratches that you see on the plastic parts. There's still some stains on the midsole as well as the yellowing. We can put them inside our indoor unit to help us bring the original color back. We're using Salon Care 40 and Saran Wrap. And then we have two minor steps left. If you poke out the thread holes, it's going to help your shoe look more factory. Using tire shine, we can create a temporary shine. Finally, we can lace the shoes up. Thank you guys so much if you made it this far, and if you need any restoration advice, you can leave a comment down below or message me on IG. Take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one.